It's right here.
Hello, hello. Is anybody catching the replay? It just gets that up here. And I would 500. I am just kind of frozen here. Open up some of my things. I don't know why it's not blurring my background. Try to get an invite out to a team. All right. Oops. Trying to, there's Noah. There we go.
Hey, Cindy.
Hello. Just messaging in the 30-day chat here.
Yeah, see, we're just going back and forth. So I couldn't believe how expensive groceries were today.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Yeah, Sasha, how you doing?
Good, good. Oh, I'm twitching again.
Oh no. At least you can hear us and still conversate.
Yes, it's gonna go away. I know it's annoying, guys, but it's gonna go away.
Could be worse. It could always be worse.
Yes, for sure.
Did we ever have this happen where you're like, how did I get two?
Yeah, I have two in my car.
Yeah. Well,
Which
I'm
one is this?
cleansing today. I'm gonna do a cleanse tomorrow. And it's going really well. I think the only thing that I kind of deviated from just a little bit was I had a little bit of creamer in my coffee. And so I was like, you know what? It's not gonna kill my results or anything like that. I'll just count it as a point.
I always have creamer in my coffee. It doesn't
I do
matter
too.
if I do
I
1 day, 2 day, I do not care. I am not drinking black coffee.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
I'm the same way.
there really is not when you're splitting little tiny hairs like that and stuff. Like, I mean, even when you do the 10 points, like it's not an exact, science. And I remember one time I was talking to Robin and she was like counting off all the snacks she had. And I'm like, you just said like 12 different things. That is way more than 10 points. And she's like, is it? And I'm like, you do what you want to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Try to do I always write down in my, oh dang it, it's on my hook, but I always write down the day's points and then my hours, like this hour, I'm gonna have this hour, this hour, you know, and give myself a full day. So, but I think I still have one more Cleanse for Life. And then wrap up my day. But I haven't really even felt a lot of hunger today either. That XM really helps with that. So it's been a good day. It keeps twitching Anastasia. So I'm like, she's really working on that ponytail.
Yeah. Well, I see.
I'm telling you guys, just give it a few more minutes. It should stop. I'm so sorry. I know it's like,
I see
oh,
two of myself. I see two of myself in your box.
Yeah. For me, it like rotates through me, Noah, and Angela, like the three of us, and then you're just fixing your ponytail. So
oh
I love
man.
technology. So let's talk about, does anybody have any wins that they want to share? Anything good that's been going on this week? Like besides, you know, our little chit chat. Anything? See my friends
Um,
on
I'm
here.
loving I'm loving the app. I think the app is great for everybody. Yeah, and then I just feel like I'm just getting a little more organized. I got that book of yours that you got.
Oh, you did?
So I'm starting to
Yay.
yeah, I'm gonna kind of use it like as a journal, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
And I was telling people, I was like, I'm not a big journaler, but I do like to write, like, just, it's just a really good spot for me to like collect thoughts. So it's not like in full sentences. It's totally like shorthand,
yeah,
only under
brain
underneath.
dump.
But it's really nice to have. So I'm excited for you to incorporate that.
Yeah.
I have a new member joining. He wants to learn about isogenics. Yay!
That is awesome. I was, you know, and what is it? Today is the last day of Mercury retrograde. So anybody out there that's like, you know, into all that stuff, like sometimes people don't make commitments during Mercury retrograde. So today's the last day. So tomorrow is like, you know, like a new world for some of our friends out there. So I have one follower.
Yes.
I didn't even know it was Mercury retrograde, but she like literally, or one person I follow on TikTok, she's like every day talking about Mercury retrograde, and it affects
You
your.
know who follows that?
iconic.
I think Casey is really big into
really?
it too.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know, like when you follow the moon patterns and all that stuff, like we are water, the moon conducts the tides and all that stuff. So I think there's some, you know, truth in a little bit of everything, especially, you know, when that's how the ancient people would track things, is by the sky and, you know, zodiac and all these different things and the moons, and, you know, so it's like, you never know, but yay.
Yeah.
Well, exciting. So today, we are going to hear from Anne. She spoke this morning. So she is a mom of two. I learned a couple of these stats this morning. So married, what did you say? So you've been with the Isogenics 11 years, married 22?
22, almost 23. Yep.
Yeah.
It'll be 23 this summer.
Crazy. And so her and her business partner have been with Isogenics now, incorporated it for their own health first and then into their business and everything. And she just always has such a great perspective in sharing with us. And so she's going to talk a little bit about her story, and then she's going to be leading us into today's topic. And so we're talking about budgeting food and, you know, and how to shortcuts and things like that. So we were talking this morning a little bit about like the price of eggs these days, and you know, how to like navigate the grocery store and where to find some of those deals. And, you know, everybody's a little bit different with like, you know, some people know down to that penny, exactly how much they're spending on everything. And then other people, you know, they don't even ever pay attention to it. And then we have some friends that have cupboards and cupboards full of food in case there's a disaster and stuff. And then other people that just buy what they need and they use it as they need it. And so it's always interesting to just kind of learn and hear different stuff. And if you saw in our chat too, she shared with us this cool cookbook that's all about being thug life. You know, that's me. And so when you're like, it swears, I'm like, ooh, I used to have a swear word coloring book. And so it was like all kinds of funny, not just words, but also like phrases that are very colorful. And then it was like soothing to color it. But I've can't sit still for very long to do that type of stuff. So anyway, without further ado, we'll have you kind of take the spotlight and talk a little bit and share with us, and then we'll continue on the conversation before we get to our product of the week and wrap up.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, so my name is Angela Fedoroff. Like she said, I've owned my business. I work, it's a spa. So I'm also a massage therapist. I was originally an athletic trainer. Both my partner and I were athletic trainers out at, I worked at a high school. She worked at a college. So I've worked with a lot of huge age range of people, from kids to, seniors. And then our gym, we have a gym within our facility. We have a full spa and then a gym, and it's very small and very private. So we're just like a family. We've had clients that have been with us. So we've had our business for 20 years, but we worked prior to that in a clinic. And so we've had some of our clients for like 25, 27 years that have stayed with us and followed us. So we have a lot of these people are kind of aging out. They're retired. So it's been awesome kind of being with them like through their whole lives. I mean, we're just like a family. So, that was one thing with Isagenix, and, we tried it personally for ourselves, but we were really skeptical, like a lot of people are, about even trying it, but we were also just skeptical too, because our clients really trust us, and we didn't want to just bring something in willy-nilly. They'll do whatever we say. And so it's been great that Isagenix has just been so solid and such an amazing product. And I was telling you guys earlier that I've been like, people have come to me to ask me to try different products, and sell this product, you'd be so good at it. But it's just like, no matter, I mean, I don't even look at it because I know that our comp plan is so much better, but just the amount of products that I use and that my family uses, there's just no way I would ever leave Isagenix, because I just love the products. And then kind of like segueing into budgeting, it's so great to be able to purchase from your own grocery store. And that's what I feel like I do for myself, for my clients. We truly are all just shopping. I mean, I just went in, my husband was like, hey, can you get me some packets of shakes? I have the free shipping on my account. It's like, yeah, I just went in and shopped. I didn't have to leave the house. And now he's going to get his shakes to take to work. So it's so great. And then kind of talking about budgeting, I'm one of those people that I don't follow everything to a penny, but I do keep track of kind of like how much I spend every week. I am a big Aldi, Trader Joe's, Costco. So I like kind of a smaller store, and I just feel like I do better that way. I don't get kind of lost in the store. And I think it's really important just to be really consistent. Try to find like those staples that work for your family, and then, stick with those. And then I change our meals up every week. I really think it's important to look at what you have. I mean, I say all the time, I'm like, my gosh, we could live in this house for a month and we could eat for a month. Probably we all could. So many of us have so much food in our house that we really could create meals with what we have. So I really try to do that. I really try to look at what I have before I go shopping, so that, I mean, even, my husband and I are kind of sometimes, fly by the night. So it's like, sometimes he'll stop at the store and I've already gone. And if he didn't know, like, we have sometimes like 3 gallons of milk. It's like, oh, so irritating. So look at what you have. I talked about like shopping on the outsides of the store is really important, and really trying to stay away from those processed foods. And I know sometimes that can be cheaper, or it seems to be cheaper, but really what you can do if you're just shopping like the outside, looking for getting dried beans, if you have like an Instapot, using those things, all those gadgets that we always buy, like start using your gadgets. Instapot is so great. And looking for sales like on like different like meats or whatever, and then trying to create a meal. And then I do a lot of recreating meals and using them for leftovers, or making sure that I maybe make some extra so that the kids can have it after school, so that they're not wanting to throw in a pizza. So we're keeping it really healthy. And then I put in the chat, my basic shit, which is just like, you guys can see the recipe, but another way to like with your fruit, your veggies, just not getting rid of the scraps and putting those in the freezer. If I would, now I grew up on a farm, you know, my mom had like, we had big freezers down in our basement. We gardened a lot and we froze a lot of stuff and canned. So I would recommend to anyone, if they could, to buy an extra freezer, to always have like an extra freezer, even a small one that you could store stuff. So I store a lot of, another thing I also have is one of those things that you, that you pull the air out of the bags. I can't think of what it's called. So we do a lot of that. So if I have leftover, yes, thank you, Sadie, the food saver. So if I have leftover, like the other day, I had a piece of meatloaf. It was a pretty big chunk. And I thought, oh my gosh, I could pull that out in a couple of weeks and the kids can have it, you know, if I was cleansing one night, at least the kids, I could make meatloaf sandwiches or something for them. So food savers are great if you have the freezer space, and then like freezing the veggie, you know, the scraps, and then boiling them and making your own vegetable broth, which like I never have broth when I need it. So those are kind of some of my tips. Another really good one too, I feel like with vegetables and fruits, everything, sometimes it goes bad. So, you know, getting your vegetables out and cutting them up, again, knowing what you have. I mean, how many times have we gone in and like that broccoli got stuck in the back, or we forgot about the spinach and now it's liquid, like using what you have, getting it cleaned and washed up and have it right there on hand. And even eating your stuff raw. You don't always have to cook it and wait to cook it. It's like, pull that shit out and, you know, eat it with, have the kids do it with like ranch or something and eat it raw. So those are just some of my tips.
Yeah, gosh, I love it. It's like so much goodness, like, you know, being able to record these and stuff, like you can go back and take down notes and stuff, but like, I never thought about making my own vegetable broth until you brought it up today. And I'm like, dude, so yesterday, knowing that I was about to go into a 2-day cleanse, I went through all of my fresh everything. And so I had like a 30-minute block, and I went into the kitchen and I was, you know, chopping and prepping, and I juiced everything that I could, that was about to go bad. So it was really spinach heavy, very pear heavy. But I knew that I needed to get that stuff out. And I was looking at these like 9 limes, because limes come in these giant packs, right? And I got it from Costco. And I was like, these are starting to look kind of soft and thin and all that stuff. So I just juiced those separately, put it in an ice cube tray and set it in the freezer. And I've got a ton of oranges, and I'm probably gonna have to do that too soon, and as well as lemons. But like, even with the vegetables and the parts that like, you know, what else can you do with it's like, it makes so much sense just to freeze it, set off to the side, make a stock later, you know. And
even the juice that you use, though, you could freeze your juice. I mean, make that up and then throw it in the freezer and have it later.
All the pulp, you know, all the pulp that comes out, it's like all of that leftover, basically it's like fiber and stuff like that. I'm sure that there's got to be something that I could do with that. Even like, sometimes I'm just like, what a waste. I feel like I should just, you know, blend it up and just, you know, try to get it as liquid as possible, but it just is easier to drink when it's juiced, right? And that's, you know, all the major nutrients, you're just missing fiber and all that stuff. So you never know, like, I mean, until you start hearing from other people and engaging on like what works for them, and you know, really deciding what makes sense to get from a bulk store. Like we were talking about how overwhelming it can be going into, you know, like a super Walmart or a Costco and things like that. But if you know, I'm here to go get a giant thing of celery and, you know, a spinach, and that's it, you beeline in and out, does that make sense? Is it going to go bad? Are you going to be able to use it? And you kind of have to guesstimate and learn what is cost effective in your household. If you know that you guys run through apples like no tomorrow, it might be more beneficial to go to a store like that for that versus, you know, the smaller stores. But I'm a big Trader Joe's fan. I don't even know that we have a close Aldi here, but we did in Kansas. But it's nice to have, like, you know, it's good quality. Like it's all, you know, right there. I've always seen, you know, good produce come out of those places and stuff. And so, and of course it's seasonal, you know, and we grew up canning and all that stuff too. And because their parents were farmers and things like that. So it's still trickled down and all of that. So does anybody else have any other tips or ideas or any thoughts or anything on, you know, budgeting for food and shopping in stores? And Noah, why don't you tell us about your meal service? We hadn't even talked about that yet.
Yeah, that's okay. I've been in and out this today. Yeah, I tried this one meal prep. I've been doing a few different meal preps, but then I tried this new one that's keto friendly. So the meals are really actually very good. They're very convenient. So if you're looking for something quick and easy, it's definitely an option that's out there.
Yeah. And I mean, it was what, like, I don't know if y'all heard that. Miles goes, I pooped. So you had a friend that recommended Factor, right? That's how you found out about it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Laura, my girlfriend, her a bunch of people at her work are using Factor.
Yeah. So that's how it goes, like sometimes you don't know these services are out there, and like we get in these busy modes, like to sit there and build this amazing, feast for the family and stuff can be time consuming and take a lot, especially if like I'm recognize something that like I'm always in a rush. So like if I'm trying to, cook anything from meat to, pancakes to eggs to, anything, I'm like turning that burner up high and trying to get it done as fast as I can, right? And so that does not exactly cook things well. And I didn't know that until like probably way later in life than I should have. So like people would always kind of point little things like that out because I'm always in a rush. Cause like for me, cooking is not like an super enjoyable, amazing, like fun experience like it is for other people. And so I want to get in and out of there as soon as I can. So finding those little shortcuts that are, fit into that healthy realm and stuff. And keto can sometimes be, like I looked at this company and looked at their recipes and things like that. And they're very clean and vegetable friendly and things like that. Some keto is like fat bombs and they don't really pay attention to the different types of fat, and but I mean, you had like what, a bacon ranch something, it looked delicious.
Yeah, I had a bacon ranch last night, and Laura had this mahi mahi with which it's interesting. I'm not a big fan of cauliflower whatsoever. This
Yeah.
dish that she had was had a mahi mahi with cauliflower. I didn't even notice. It didn't even taste like cauliflower. It was so good.
Wow. See, that's the type of stuff that's cool, that you can
Yeah.
figure that out. And I mean, I'll tell you guys, me and my husband went to this cafe in when we were going to a studio tour on Monday, and it was a vegan cafe, and seemed pretty cool and stuff, but we spent $70 on two of us. And it's like, holy moly, like it's expensive to eat out. And like these people, I just saw a meme I saved this morning where they're like, people are complaining about eggs being $5, but yet they go and get their $5 latte from Starbucks every day. And so when, helping people with budgeting and things, whether it has anything to do with them giving our products a try or trying a 30-day system and things like that, like there's so many ways to find and, bring money into your household these days. Like go clean somebody's car, watch somebody's kids, like go grocery shopping for an elderly couple. Like there's different ways to make a few bucks. I was talking to my friend today, and she just paid a neighbor $100 to rearrange her office for her. And like, she has the money to spare. And she was like, I really needed help and I didn't have the time to rearrange my office. So we actually helped each other. And so like another friend, was asking a lawyer's office if she could help file for them. Like you don't really need any skill to file, the ABCs, like things like that, or digitizing things. So like for people who are looking for extra money that aren't quite there yet for, joining something like network marketing or, starting a new business or doing any of these other streams of income, like there's little things like that you can do. You just have to get creative and sometimes just ask, like, is there anything I can do to earn a couple bucks, like not obviously not in the middle of winter, but like weed somebody's garden, things like that. So, I keep talking about it, but I'm going to do a post about that too, where it's just like, 5 things you can do that require almost no skill to earn a couple bucks. You just have to ask and lay some of that stuff out. But anyway, does anybody else have any other thoughts or points to make on these subjects before we move on to the product of the week?
Well, I just wanted to add to it. I remember Emily said, gosh, I don't even remember when it was exactly, but she said something like that the healthiest people actually tend to eat the same thing every day. And it was such a relief for me, because me being a vegetarian and strict vegetarian, like we don't eat eggs, you know, we stick to an animal sourced cheese, but everything else is vegetarian or vegan.
Mhm.
And so like we don't have a lot of options, especially if if you're not, like you said, Sadie, if you're not crazy about cooking, like yeah, I can totally live without cooking.
Yeah.
And it's expensive to buy from a restaurant, right? And there's a lot, of course, on the market right now, vegan and vegetarian meats, and you can find chicken, plant-based chicken and all of that, but it's all processed.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, I have to admit that we do use a lot of those products, because it just saves you so much time.
Yeah.
But when Emily said that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to know that I'm not the only crazy one,
Yeah.
because we literally eat the same thing. Like,
Brad is like that. He'll
like
eat the same thing.
it's like beans, rice, like I don't know what did I mean, like stuffed peppers with plant-based ground beef, and it's the same stuff. But like I don't know, for whatever reason, like I'm not bored at all.
Right.
Like I love it.
Well,
I
I'm gonna
just
say it's interesting you mentioned that, because I know people that will do like meal prep, and they do the meal prep, and they do for the same thing the whole week with 2 or 3 meals. And I'm like, how do you eat the same thing every single meal?
Well, and then
I would get
yeah.
bored.
for people that are like kind of on board with that, but not entirely, like you can buy a couple of staples that are like you can dress up. So it's like when you get those beans or you get those rice, like you could go like a Mediterranean flavor one day, then you could go like an
Yeah.
Italian flavor, then you can go Mexican flavor. So it's like you're having some of the same ingredients. Like I get this big bag of stir fry vegetables from Costco, and we could do so
Okay.
much with that bag of veggies, because like we can add all kinds of different things to like style it, to different
Yes.
versions of it. And then like sometimes I love me some like Buddha bowls, like grain bowls. So it's like first there's a layer of rice or quinoa or some sort of a grain, then you sprinkle in different kinds of beans or mushrooms or things like that, and then put the veggies in, but then the seasoning or the sauce. And it's so hard to be completely processed free. I mean, like I've tried it, and it's like a whole career to be completely plant-based. It takes up all of your life to do so. Like, and but like finding those, cleaner sauces and things like that. Like I'm a huge Asian flavor, sensation lover. So it's like, if it's peanut sauce or it's pad thai sauce, like whatever I can find that's, vegan, but they do have a lot of sugar in it. But when everything else in the meal is sugar free, it's like, okay, that's, about a normal amount for what a meal should be. And so it's just finding those ways to dress it up. But, thinking of food, Brad just made
Yeah,
it
no, you're right.
cool.
You're right. Maybe that's why I'm not bored, because sometimes it's Mexican, sometimes it's Indian or whatever, or Thai, so yeah, it makes it kind of fun. So
Yeah. And,
love it. I
there's
mean, I've been doing it for years now, and it's like when you really want something, you find the ways, right?
for sure. Well, and that's the same thing, when something is important to you, like in your, like you'll find a way, it's like we were talking about, actually, I mean, like totally off topic, and we'll get over the product in a minute, but yesterday I met with this individual who does like he works with people that have mental health journeys that want to look at plant medicine. And it's more than just like smoke some weed. It's like microdosing, macrodosing, like the different modalities that are becoming more popular throughout the world. Maybe not so much in the US just yet, but like, we're getting there because they've done all these things. And so we were kind of, this was for my day job at the mental health clinic. And so we were getting some information and finding out prices. And we're like, okay, so it's obviously not free. It's obviously not super cheap, but it's like, some of these people have tried everything. They are literally like, they will eat cow dung if it will help them, and it's like,
Yeah.
if you want it bad enough, they'll find a way. We all heard the stories of the people who are addicted to drugs, like they find a way to pay for it. So it's like, if it means that much to you, you know, like you'll figure it out. But anyway, kind of off topic, but still, you know, a good point to drive home. So we'll bring up here, this is our product of the week. So a couple weeks ago, we launched these 2 new plant-based bars. And so we've got churro and chocolate fudge brownie flavor. And so these are, you know, completely vegan. And they're with the Isoline brand, not the whole blend. So it does have some sugar in it. And the way that the scientists have talked about it is like, it is not easy to make plant-based bars taste great. And so I even got this big box of plant-based bars from Costco, and they look really clean. They have great ingredients, you know, sweetened well and all these things, but they still have this like chemical taste to them. I don't feel a chemical taste at all with these bars. They're really good. I'm a fan, you know, they're a little bit different texture. You kind of have to just see if you like it. So who's tried them and what are your thoughts? And anybody dreaming about eating them with vanilla ice cream, or is that just me?
I am dreaming about trying them, but I haven't tried them yet.
Good point. I am gonna put that chocolate one with ice cream. I'm gonna try that.
That's a good
So
idea.
Oh, yeah.
Tried the churro. I haven't tried the chocolate. I'm excited to try the chocolate because I'm not a big chocolate fan, and everyone is talking about how they're not super chocolatey, which I love. I that's like my jam. But the churro, I like a lot of our stuff. It didn't have a really heavy. I was thinking it was going to have a heavier cinnamon taste, but it didn't. So it was just kind of a little bit more mild. Again, it is a texture thing, so it is more chewy and dense, which in a way it took me a long time to eat it. And I eat really fast, so it was kind of good that it slowed my eating down. It like forced me to eat slow, because normally I do it on a work day and I like shovel it in and then go. So that was good. And I just love I love how minimal, like the minimal ingredients that we have in our products too. You know, you basically can read everything on what's on the label. That's cool. So I am a fan. I'm super excited. And I'm super excited about the chocolate.
Yum, yum,
They-
yum.
So the chocolate does have like little chocolate chips in that, and I've kind of forgotten about it, but you can kind of see it a little bit like right there. But so every once in a while you do get a little bit more of a splurt of that chocolate, but like, you know, we were saying, like they're not super like heavy chocolate. And I think with the brownie, I was thinking it was gonna be more of a brownie texture, and it's not. It's still like that kind of dense, I don't want to say like super grainy, but it definitely is like, you know, a food. And so they breaks off easily. It's good to, you know, roll up in balls. And like I said, like I've just had this idea that like these would be so good with ice cream. And I do plant-based ice cream, but they've got some really cool plant-based ice cream with like oat milk, almond milk, like really creamy, good flavors and stuff. So of course that's like a treat. It's a rare occasion and things like that. But you know what, if you've got a craving, you know, it's better to just go for it. And we have some frozen bananas in the freezer right now too. So I could even do like a banana. Oh, and you guys,
Has anybody speaking of that, has anybody tried our new the banana shake yet?
A new banana shake.
Or is that just over in the UK? Because who was it?
It must be in the UK.
Yeah.
We had a banana shake. We had the banana bread and then we had a banana flavor, but they were seasonal a while ago.
Yeah.
Mika was advertising it on her Facebook.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, that's probably from, isn't she in Australia? It's probably for them.
Yeah, she's down under. Yeah. Well, awesome. Great call tonight. Our assignment for the week is to take a look at your budget, take a look at your groceries, see where you're spending, you know, what makes sense. If you're in a place where you're, you know, starting to look at finances, one of the reasons why we chose this topic was because with the new year, you know, one of the major resolutions is for people to kind of get on top of their finances and things. And so people are starting to cut back. I went to the YMCA last night to get in a cycle class, and I'm like, why is it so busy here? Oh yeah, that's right. It's the new year, you know. And then like even some places where people tend to spend more money, like Starbucks and stuff, they're a little bit quieter these days because people are trying to button up. But don't worry, February will
It'll be
get back
back.
to normal. Yep.
I don't know, you guys. I DoorDash,
Yeah.
and every place is packed,
Wow.
packed. And I am like, wait. Who said that people are struggling right now?
Right.
Because every parking lot is packed.
Well, and
I think
you
this
know-
whole economy, I don't think it's true.
you know,
No.
it's like, I mean, we could do a whole, call on like the wealth gap and things like that, where it's like, people, but ultimately like the point blank that just keeps coming back to is like people want ease. They want things as easy and as fast and as convenient as possible. That's like what everybody's looking for. So they will literally, like sleep on a, 20-year-old couch, so that they can afford Instacart and DoorDash and, all of these convenient style things, so it's like blows your mind when you see somebody driving this old, rickety car and they're wearing holes in their shirt and old underwear and stuff like that. But they've got like, designer handbags and things like that. And you're just like, what is going on? So that weird, understanding where it's like, I would never spend $5 on a carton of eggs, but again, with the lattes and things like that. But anyway,
$5.
Anyways.
When I was at Costco today, the eggs at Costco were $15.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's higher. It's
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
bet
God,
everything.
I'm so glad I don't eat eggs. Oh,
Yeah, everything's higher in California anyway. Like, we always got to be
yeah.
crazy out here. But just to wrap up the recorded portion here, our vision is always to have a space for everybody here to educate, empower, talk to people about relevant subjects like this, and to really help people feel comfortable. Most of our people here are Isagenix users, but not everybody. So it's not a requirement or anything like that, but we do bring it up because it's a big part of our lives. So we are here for everybody every Wednesday for community calls in the morning and in the afternoon. Different people, different flavor, but same topics, things like that. So if you have any requests, I am going to start working on the March and April subject lineup and things like that. And so we'll keep asking and figuring out new speakers and things. Next week, we're talking about hormones, which I'm really excited about because that has a lot to do with, weight loss, weight gain, things like that. So
Yeah.
I'll stop my share. And for the recording, we'll stop there.